This is where the fun begins.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rancor Lug podcast. This is number, I believe, 5. Today, we have... Now, how do you pronounce it for you?
Rais.
Right, Customs. And welcome, man. And how are you doing today?
Doing well. Can't ask for anything better. It's been a pleasure to be here, so thank you for the invitation. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. But Cosmic was very excited for this one. He said he could do it anytime. He was glad we could get you, so that's fun. But we ask everybody this as a first question because we're on the Rancor podcast, and because you're not made an official member, it's like, how did you get affiliated with Rancor, or how did you meet Cosmic type thing? How did you all get talking about a collab, or you know what I mean, sponsor type?
Yeah. So back with Brick guy. I was at Brick World Chicago and Brick Fair, Virginia. I say sometimes at Brick World Virginia. That's not right. But at Brick Fair, Virginia, I ran into y'all over there, and I saw some wonderful displays, including, I forget the individual's name, but he was a lovely man, and his wife was there too, and they had an elaborate Job of the Hut set up there. And so I got talking with the folks, Cosmic in particular, and since my goal at Brick Fair, Virginia at that time was to give it more awareness and identity around Race Customs. It was then known as Faza Minifig. We rebranded back a few months ago. But it was just trying to understand what people want out of a customs brand, what intrigues them, what products they're looking for, how do they want a business ran? Because I think that's a big thing that is very overshadowed in this community. And so we started talking about potential collaborations down the road, gave them my business card, and it's history since then.
Well, that's perfect because I know, because Cosmic said you all have it's very there's a very close thing with Rancor here, which is good. And I'm going to also want to talk to you about some of your stuff as well, because I've seen some of it, but that I actually put them as questions. So, but secondly, because you said that I believe Cosmic was at Brick Fair, Virginia, and you said that's where you met him, or maybe or somewhere else. You know what I mean? But the next part is I want to know, why did you start Race Customs? Why did you decide to do this?
Yeah, so it kind of spawned back, I want to say, when was it exactly? April, March of 2024. I was chatting with a friend of mine who was a mod in the CAC, Clone Army Customs Discord server. And we were kind of talking about, I think we were both really fed up over a particular brand. I don't like bad-mouthing people. I think you should praise in public, criticize in private. But there's a particular brand whose pre-orders have been going on for over 2 years, and they still haven't fulfilled them. And we were talking about how annoying that can be for the consumer, and how a lot of the various customs companies, a minority, not a majority of them are very well ran, don't get me wrong, but there are some that have some questionable business practices and sales practices.
Yeah.
And I realized that since it's just taking up more of a market share than I would have liked, I was not very happy with that. And also seeing just from more of a business perspective that things were kind of inefficient with some companies, and that things could be ran more efficiently. I come from an economics background. I studied that in my undergraduate degree.
Yep.
And I thought that, all right, I have the business acumen and economics side of this, and I am recently rekindled my passion more for Lego background then.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, all right, let's try to establish and see what's going on with the custom market. How can one break into this market? What are things that people want to see? And so a lot of research. The company was officially founded in May, but there's a lot of R&D and just trying to figure out, should I learn how to design in Adobe Illustrator myself? Should I outsource it? What are the steps? How do I even find a pad printer? Should I do UV printing? Just a whole host of things. But to kind of summarize it, since I'm now going on a little bit of a long-winded tangent, I had a passion, and I still do have that passion for custom Lego minifigures, and I had the business acumen side, and I thought, why not try to combine both of them to provide the best possible product? out there on the market.
No, well, that was a great answer to that question, but also yes, I'm not naming any names, but I completely agree with you. On some customs companies with figures or sets can be very hit or miss sometimes, we could say. So I completely get wanting to try and make a better alternative, and competition is always good. That's what I would say about that, because sometimes the competition can show people, hey, you could do this better. So, but but speaking of your product, this is where I want to get into something with you, because I have seen your figures. I have read the background on the site. Now I'll show the picture first to the audience, but well, I guess yeah, I'll show the banner first from the picture. The Wave One Imperial set for one, and then this is the set. Everybody, you got, of course, Krennic, and I know one is. I think, but yeah, we got the Imperial set here. What made you decide for Wave One to do those characters or figures?
Yeah, so originally I was interested in doing Clone Troopers since I saw that the 2014 Phase 2, realistic Phase 2 Clone Troopers was an underserved market. But after talking to a few American-based pad printers and seeing the prices, I just did not see the viability in that. And so kind of changed my mind that if I was going to go off their pricing scheme, I should probably be doing some less intense designs. And so that's when we came to the Imperials, because I was looking at, and I also had a friend of mine who runs the Instagram and our Shopify. He's our chief technology officer and chief marketing officer. And we were going through the list together of the most expensive Star Wars figures on Bricklink. And Director Krennic is one of the most expensive at $60 used, I think, and like $80 new, if I'm not mistaken, around there at least. And so I'm like, all right, what if we just give a quality of life update to the design to try to bring it more to what we would see for more modern Imperials, try to make some of the details more accurate. I would never like the oversized rank placards on the Imperial figures. I think they're a little bit too comically goofy. And so that's why we decided on that. But you couldn't just release one figure, So I'm like, all right, what are the two other characters that haven't been done before? Colonel Yularen's rendition from Andor, who's on the right, and Grand Admiral Pelion from the Legends timeline, and more specifically the the Hand of Thrawn duology, where he's the supreme commander of Imperial forces.
But I just saw that Yularen immediately, and I was like, that is so good looking. And because of course now Yularen, that version, but both versions are very expensive. The Clone Wars, and especially the May the 4th Yularen, which is very hard to get now. So yeah. I think they are both. But I saw them. I saw some. I think because was it Brick Fleet? I saw their video. Like
Brick Fleet, Blaze, Urban Spidey, and Valor Builds all had reviews on these products.
Yeah, but they were. I saw. I got to see how they looked in person. These are actually very nice figures. They look really good, and
I appreciate that.
I'm even thinking about getting some.
I'll say this: wait till after the wave. If you're interested. Well, I know we're going to talk about the Wave 2 product with Cassian Andor soon enough, but we're actually going to be reducing the prices because now we've had a very comfortable margins on the first wave, and now we're actually able to bring those prices down and make them more affordable to get them to more people. So that's the goal I always wanted to have, anyways.
Wow. Sir, what you just said there too. I think you should take like a slogan. Only the best is good enough.
That's kind of our slogan, actually. Our official slogan is "No regrets, only the best."
Yeah, but that you are actually trying to find ways to make it cheaper for people and to get a chance to, with what I mean, just make it easier for people to get. That's great. But but the main reason I was thinking about it, because I saw your post today, but Wave 1 is great. Wave 2 is very exciting because I have it right here. You said Wave 2 Part 1 is set to release February 1st, 2025. It consists of a limited edition Rogue One Andor. Only 100 copies will be for sale on our store. And it includes the all those different things: ISB Lieutenant Torso, Imperial data pads, and Imperial credits for your collections. And then Wave 2 Part 2 will be announced in the coming days. That will have Outlaws Lady Kira, Outlaws Director Barsha, and Death Sticks. Oh, I love Death Sticks. But that is a crazy Wave 2 there. And I also know that you said that people that did get the admirals, the imperial set, they would get like a, what was it, they get an early access or like a discount or something
So
for.
if you bought the triple pack specifically, or you bought all three figures, I don't think anybody's ever bought all three figures without buying the triple pack, though. So for
Yeah,
semantics' sake, if you bought the triple pack, you are eligible to make a reservation on any desired quantity you have. We don't have any order limits, and you get a 10% discount on your Wave 2 purchase, Wave 2 Part 1 purchase. And if you had just bought a figure from Wave 1 but not the triple pack, you're eligible to reserve but no discount. Besides the quantity discount, like if you buy 10 torsos, get 10 10
yeah,
torsos, get 10% off, etc.
but what, that's like such a good thing. Like, it it gives people that did support you, a chance to be able to try and get these figures and also get a discount on them if they did, if they supported you and get by the packs. But it's I but have you, I know you've been showing some of the Andor on your page recently. I've seen it. I've seen the Andor because I was like, "Who is this from? Is this from the new waves of Andor sets?" And I'm like, "No, that's Reyes," and it looks good. I've seen you put them on there, right? And it looks pretty good so far.
Thank
I
you.
It's a very good, and I have to be honest, Andor, one of my favorite characters, especially after the show came out. What a good character, and how much story they put into him. But yeah,
It's
I'm
very
ex-
wonderful writing.
yeah, but it looks, but I was like, to me, it looks like Lego quality. I didn't even. I thought it was a leak of the Andor Summer Wave. That's what I thought it was. I was like, this looks like real Lego, like a Lego print, and it wasn't. I was like, oh my gosh.
I appreciate that. So, kind of the inspiration for that in particular was that after we established ourselves the foundation from the Wave 1 figures, but the biggest criticisms we had gotten were the face prints, which I understand. No, that's completely understandable. And
Yeah.
so we worked. I worked. I'm the designer too for the brand. I self-taught Adobe Illustrator for this. So this Andor is actually my fourth figure ever produced and ever made. But I spent a very extensive amount of time actually researching and understanding the Lego scale proportions to really get a firm grasp of how they design it. And once I had that grasp, I'm like, all right, let's put it out there. Let's see how the pad printer does it. And I was very glad that we were able to come out to the proper scaling because now I have this frame of reference for all the future figs we'll be doing. And then on top of that, I'm surprised Lego back in the original Rogue One wave never made this particular outfit for Andor, since they had made a similar outfit for this regular Imperial Special Forces, or sorry, Rebel Pathfinders, I believe, that were on Scarif at the time, but they never ended up making one for Andor, which was very surprising to me. And
Yeah.
I noticed that there were details that were not being caught in the official versions. For example, on the top left, or when we view it, the top left, or Andor's, from his perspective, his top right, that yellow patch there, the official Lego versions didn't include any. I don't think it's being on there, unfortunately, but
Yeah, on that one is but
the weathering was not caught, which I thought was very interesting because I know Lego could
oh
definitely capture the weathering there. And then the code cylinder wasn't really well included. And then the actual, like, on Andor's, from our perspective, the right side of his chest or his upper left pec, there's supposed to be like this weird, like, silver metallic kind of panel thing. I don't know what exactly was used for, but
Yeah.
Lego completely botched the design on the official version, which you can see. It still looks good, but it's not anything to what it was actually like in the film. And so I'm like, all right, we'll rectify that. And I wanted to primarily do, but also my team did. We wanted to prove to people that we could handle more complex prints. So Andor is by far our most complex figure by a long shot because it has 6 colors on the front. It has what is it? That we have hip printing, we have leg printing, but then we have continuous side leg printing, which is tough to properly align. And then the face is 4-color face for one of them. Like the 2 different beard hairs are different colors. Actually, the mustache and goatee is what would be considered Lego dark brown, while the stubble is Lego reddish brown. And because that's how it is on the official figure. And on the
Yeah.
alternate face, that's a 6-color face because we have the gray and the red for like a more battle damage and scarred look. And arm
Yeah.
printing.
Yeah, but with just how much time and care you're putting into these, I can definitely see why. Like, even though I can get maybe people's complaint, maybe with the face, but even then, they looked super accurate to how I remember them looking. So, like, I've been watching reviews of like old stuff and like different things, and the Yularen looked part like the face for Yularen looked perfect to me. So, and Krennic looked really good to me as well. But making it better is great too. Always, always can improve from your first. But that's the thing. Basically, the the ones you released first were like, let's see how people feel like a first batch, and things will always get better after our first. So, but well, actually, how has it been like overcoming what people had feedback to, and has it helped you more as a business and as yourself of like running it? Has it helped you with what people have said, and have you made things better? Clearly, you have, because the Andor is having a lot of complex stuff done. But you know what I mean.
Yeah. So I'll say that when I heard some people aren't the most eloquent with how they want to provide criticism, feedback, and
Yeah.
that's to put it diplomatically. So for me, the biggest thing initially learning when seeing some of that feedback, not from the reviewers. The reviewers were all had very positive, constructive feedback. It was like seeing messages when people talk about your stuff around. And it initially, because you put so much time and energy into it, like it's kind of like your baby. And it's so when you feel that someone's like, quote unquote saying this or that about it, you might feel that it's like kind of like a personal thing as well. But I would say from that first wave, learning how to really separate those feelings from business was something that was incredibly helpful to learn from that first wave and to really take in. And once I had reconciled that personal difference of mine, it's like, all right, clearly we're missing out on some market share from not putting out the best possible product. So let's go back, let's go analyze this feedback, because obviously that even though it might not be communicated in the best way, it's still in someone's mind, because clearly there was an interest in it in some particular capacity, and we can do better. And so
Yeah.
taking that feedback, trying to see and really just improving on it, doing a lot of research and study, a lot of R&D behind the scenes, and really reaching out to some additional folk behind the scenes to like act as design consultants and advisors, and putting that all together to develop. I think Andor, I'm very, very satisfied with it. I don't have it in hand yet. It's currently in transit from the manufacturer, but
Yeah.
I think it's in a really good spot so far, and so that's where I see a lot of that criticism feeding into. And it's also interesting to say, this is a little side note now, but interesting to see the level of criticism and difference you get between people when they're comparing it to an official figure versus when this figure has never been made before by anybody, so there is no benchmark really to have. It's very interesting to see kind of the level of the difference in feedback you get.
Yeah. And yeah, that is interesting, but it's like what you were trying to do was make a version of a character where it was, easier to get now through a custom than getting the official thing, which I commend honestly. And also what you did with Imperial and also like Andor and stuff. As you probably know because you've looked into other customs companies, you wanna see it what they do too, but it's mainly been focused on the clones a lot of the time, and there's been no real diversity with the Star Wars brand through like different eras or Imperials or Rebels. It's mainly people have stuck to clones and our prequel stuff a lot of the time, and there's not as much OT or some for even some from the shows that people like. So I think it's cool to have a little bit of a difference, in my opinion.
Well, I'm glad that you hear that. And I mean, I like the Clone Wars a lot. It's a hot take I'm about to say, but a lot of the episodes are filler and mediocre at best. Like there are some absolutely wonderful arcs that are like some of the best TV I've ever seen, but you have to trudge through some stuff where it's like, oh my god, dude, I don't want to hear Jar Jar Binks talking for the 80th time. All right, like we can cut it. Let's get back to the clones. All right.
Yeah, I love the Clone Wars too. Grew up with it, love it, but it's just such a But it's just like for me, it's just like it's been the last few years. It's really become more about the clones than any other era of Star Wars. So it's nice to just see some different stuff. And Matt, you brought up Kira and some different characters as well. That's very interesting because we haven't seen anything of them since like 2018, 19 with official Lego. I mean, customs companies don't really make stuff from Solo, so or like
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's good to see.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So the reason for those actually that decision making there was Cobalt Customs, Lady Kira from Solo did incredibly well. Like he sold out in like minutes. All right, and I was shocked to be quite frank to see that. I wasn't expecting that level of success. And so what's this telling me is that Solo, I from what I've been hearing around discourse on the internet, is that Solo has gotten into much more positive light in recent years now that we're removed from the initial launch and The Last Jedi. And
Yeah.
so, and then another reason for this was that I think her outfit in Outlaws is really cool. You can search up Lady Kira Outlaws, and she's got like a black and gold outfit. It's really cool. But the unique thing about this was that it would give us an opportunity to create a female face print, which we haven't done before. So it gives me a little bit of a different challenge, and it can prove to people like, yeah, we can do more than just guy prints. All right, like we can print the other gender as well. But then on top of that, these two figures will also have unique things that I don't see that will showcase either this is something that we've done that other brands haven't done, or B, here we're showing that we have additional expertise in our toolkit and you can come to us with these kinds of suggestions. So one, I don't think I've ever seen a custom brand print on the front of a Lego like plastic hood piece, like on kind of like the border, since Kira kind of has like a golden print on that.
Oh
And so
yeah, yeah.
we're actually going to be printing on there when the time comes. And then in addition, Barsha, since he has a very unique fur piece, we're partnering with a cloth, prominent cloth producer in the space to the Brickway is the one we're going to be working with on that to produce a really nice and elegant fur piece to show like, yeah, these guys can actually do very interesting. They have more than just official Lego pieces and official parts to print on.
Yeah, which is nice. And I but you know the also the thing with me because like Cosmic before he kind of dipped off of YouTube, but where I do YouTube as well. It's just things with me is like I mainly do reviews of sets or do live buildings on my podcast as well. It's just like most of the time I'm not really a custom person all the way. Because there's just like sometimes one they just feel too expensive. Like what I mean? It's like you can get a set for what some costs nowadays, but I really think that I just like the Imperial ones a lot, and it's just I saw that it's like those are pretty good, and so I thought about it, but it's just I feel like you all for sure have a good road ahead of you for this because you have plans, you're committed. It's great to hear, and that also that you are kind of in like a collaboration, whatever, with Cosmic and Rancor is also good. You both because you both, you especially, you sound like a good guy, and Cosmic is a great, and so it's really cool that there is some, you know, in a way unification happening with some parts of the Lego community in the space. It's nice to see some good folks out there and doing this type of thing.
No, I appreciate that. I really do, and it's really tough to find some good folk. Because I mean, there's a lot. I hear a lot of things going on behind the scenes in the custom sphere now that I'm a producer, and you kind of go like,
Yeah.
what? Like that's the kind of business practice going on. And I'm just so I just try to be honest with my work. Like I try to there's so many like people that take forever to ship stuff, and I'm like, all right, like you make my order, if you place an order at Rice Customs, and if it's not past 5 p.m. on a 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on a weekday, I will get your order out the same day, or I will get it shipped the next day. Like almost unless I'm like on vacation or out of town. That's a guarantee I have. And then we have a collectible business card system. So for every order that you buy one minifigure above $25 or either or, we will include a collectible business card. You collect all 5, you can redeem for a free figure on our website. Well, any figure on our website, you can redeem it and you get it for free. We will also cover the shipping for that. Or we will, and we're also be working on creating a limited edition figure that you can only get through the redeeming the business cards. We have not finalized it yet, but we're getting pretty close to it. You'll see it when we post it. And on top of that, I like having a good return policy. So within the United States, you have 30 days after receiving your order to return. No questions asked, money back. And then outside the United States, you have 45 days to do so. And we cover half the shipping back to us since, international shipping is a little more expensive. And then the last thing I wanted to mention and touch up on that I think really helps distinguish and tries to validate the fact that we're trying to be decent people is that Rice Customs also, I believe, is the only company to offer a 1-year limited warranty on all products. So if there are any defects that have happened through natural use or wear of the products, that as long as you don't take a hammer and try to break the figure, we'll cover. we'll either refund you or replace it free of charge.
Yeah, don't take a hammer to it, or you will not keep that warranty. Will not go through. No, but there actually, I do have one more question for you because I know your Discord icon and your Discord description. I saw you are a Metal Gear fan, so I saw that. That I all I'm gonna say, I'm a big Kojima fan and Metal Gear fan, but it's just I thought that was pretty cool to see. That's all. But
I have something to actually add on. Let's talk about let's talk about some. You'll like this news, but so we'll talk about here a nice little ad for myself. I guess this whole thing's been an ad for myself, but I actually have the full list since I like transparency. That's why we actually have quarterly calls where we discuss the financials of the company, like how much money we made in revenue, what's our change in profits, change in loss, what's our change in costs, right? So you guys, how many units did we sell? How many figures did we sell?
Yeah.
So because this is a community, right? You trust me, I trust you. My ultimate goal is that my product is worth your money. That you deem that your money is worth the product you buy from me. That either the happiness you get is the same amount of money you spend or more. That's the ultimate goal. So that's why I'm trying to bring the prices down across the board. But we've just started. We have to make our money back and try to establish a healthy margin for ourselves before we can go ahead and pursue our altruistic goals. But now, kind of getting to that transparency angle, we've actually in those quarterly calls, we actually published the next 2 quarters figure release schedule. Now, obviously, it can change. It's not finalized. Like, sometimes within 1 or 2 months, and it's pretty much finalized. But so for March, we'll actually be releasing Admiral Aralani and Syndic Thras from the Thrawn Ascendancy series of books and Outbound Flight. We'll also have the Stormtrooper Captain torso, the one where it's the Imperial torso, but the Black Officer torso. And That one, not like the actual armored Stormtrooper captain. And then as well as coaxium vials. We'll have a duo pack for April Fools. Stay tuned for that. I think everybody will get a really good laugh out of it. Because I don't think anybody...
Jedi Bob? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's not Star Wars, I'll say that much.
Oh, let's go.
And then in April, we'll be releasing actually our first venture out of Star Wars with the like more original comic the black symbiote suit Spider-Man. Since my CTO has been really wanting to make that, I'm like, all right, we'll do it.
Oh wow.
We'll do also Major Partagaz from Andor, since we also haven't seen that. And season 2 of Andor will be releasing in April, so it's nice timing. And then we'll also be releasing Senior Captain Thrawn triple pack from the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy, which will be, so we're getting like a dress uniform of Thrawn when he's in like regular Chiss Navy attire. We'll get one where he's like wearing a fancy ceremonial uniform, and one where he's wearing an armored up uniform. And then in May, this is where you'll like it because it's our brand's anniversary. We're actually going to be releasing 2 figures from Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. We're releasing Big Boss. We haven't decided if we want to do it in his camouflage pattern, just olive drab green. We'll think about that. But then we're also doing one in his dress uniform from the final shot of the game where he's saluting the boss's grave, which is where our logo is inspired from.
Yep.
And then we're also releasing a Legends Grand Admiral Thrawn at that time. And then in June, we'll be releasing Leia Organa Solo from her first outfit from Heir to the Empire. Luke, like Luuke Skywalker from Heir to the Empire, when like the clone version of Luke. Jorusi of Bouth and Captain Pelion. Captain Pelion, we're actually going to be including 2 sets of arms. So if you wanted to customize Pelion to be, I believe Thrawn's canon fleet's the 7th fleet, if I'm not mistaken. But because I know on the 7th fleet they have the unique ISD Chimera patch on their uniform. So either you can keep that on for the canon appearance of Pelion, or you can take it off a regular gray arm if you want the Legends appearance. And then we have a few other figures that are our wild card flex that we don't have a set date. It might release in the 6 months. It might release after that 6 months. Just depends on what our production schedule is looking like. But those would be X1 and X2 from the canceled Battlefront 3, Grand Admiral Zinj, and then we are actually going to be working on an Arcane focused wave, since that's my favorite TV show of all time. And we're actually going to be we're going to have 1 figure release as a trial run, and we're going to have a few accessories complementing that. And then we're going to have a duo pack to release a little bit after.
Wow. You were just like, here you go. You want some news? Here's it. But man, that's a lot. But as soon as you said, oh, we might venture out to other themes, and I saw your profile on Discord, I'm like, what could he be saying? I thought Metal Gear could get something when I saw that. I'm like, oh, but that's exciting to hear. And then Arcane is cool too. Arcane's really cool, but it's cool that you clearly, but also clearly, you're not just gonna do Star Wars, which is not cool. But I know the probably one that's gonna be a little. That Black Suit Spider-Man sounds amazing, but I'm just thinking about the webbing. I'm just thinking about that figure.
I'll be studying how Lego has done their webbing on the official Spider-Man figures very thoroughly, probably for like at least 5 to 6 hours. So we'll nail it. Don't worry.
No, I know you all will with how you pay, attention to detail, make sure it's right. But that just sounds complicated. But I guarantee a lot of it is a bit of a complicated process of some of this stuff. But it's exciting to hear about new stuff.
What's nice about Spider-Man is that since the colors aren't too complicated on the original comic version, we'll actually be able to release it at a pretty affordable price, like sub $25, probably around $20.
Oh yeah. Oh well, that's true. If it's the comic one, yeah, that one's not bad. Too bad.
Yeah, because I mean, also like the reason why we were really interested too in this, besides the fact that my CTO is a big Spider-Man fan, was that the only other symbiote Spider-Man that's pad printed on the market right now, the cheapest one's like $70, and I'm like, is 3 colors like maximum for $70, and you're not even getting 360 print? Get out of here, man. I can do better.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why you support right East customers. He's like, I can do better than that. I can do better. He's like, I know I can. That's you got confidence, and I like that. You're like, I can do better than this, and that's great. That's a good mindset to have with a business like this.
I appreciate that, man. That's like you just like listen, right? If you just do like this is something that I heard that God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So do more listening than you do talking. So I try to do that. So I really I'm in a lot of custom servers on Discord and I just listen and read. What are people talking about? And you start learning what people's profit margins are, like intuitively, also based off of like what they price at. And I know where we stand amongst all that, and I know we can go band for pretty much any customs brand in the scene.
Oh yeah, and I was, like because I work with Cosmic. I'm the YouTube side, which is why I help do these podcasts and all that. It's just I hear stuff while I'm in those Discord servers, and like what people are like, oh, we would really want these, or we would like to build mocks of these like eras of Star Wars, or these parts of are these we want these characters or these things, and you just hear what people want, and you're just like, sometimes the customs companies aren't fully giving that, or Lego themselves, and it's kind of disappointing in that way. You wish it was perfect and that you could get what you want, but it just feels like I think you can agree with me on this. With custom and Lego companies, it just feels like a remake upon a remake upon a remake. Like they just
wholeheartedly. Like there's Here's the most ridiculous one I've seen. All right. There are 2 brands who are making a Bail Organa figure. One released it far earlier, which I own their Bail Organa figure. It's a very nice figure. And then a second brand decided to essentially, because they were both from the Skywalker saga, so the files are out there. You can rip them. Also, I'm going to be completely transparent on this because I like transparency. There are a lot of people in the custom sphere who try to gatekeep the Skywalker saga files. If you join the TT Games modding Discord server, it's in there for free. So if you want to go learn how Legos design figures, go there and go do it. I'm not going to gatekeep that information. I use them for reference. I will never rip a design for legal reasons. But also just like it's lazy, a little bit lazy in my opinion. But besides the point, they ripped the same files and they added some additional features to basically one up the other design. Like I understand that. That's fair. You're doing an improvement on it. But then the original brand who made it is now re-releasing that Bail, but with the pretty much the same quality of life improvements. So like we have actually 2 identical figures now on the market. And I'm like, what was the point? I'm like, I get it. Competition, business. If you already had the plans to make it, you already had things set up, and they release it, it's annoying. I understand that perspective. But so that's why I try not to do figures that have already been done before, unless I know that I could do it seriously better, which most cases no. A lot of the figures here are pretty well made. So that's why don't bother. But yeah, it gets annoying when you see the repeats after repeats after repeats. It's like we want some like last year alone, there were like 4 Darth Revens. Like, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just like it's crazy. But no, I really think that for everything you've said, you can definitely rise in this space and I know you can do a lot more with what you're planning. It sounds like, but it's good to hear you got a plan. You have a lot on the horizon for it. I hope it goes well. Because I've seen them on the site, watched some reviews on them. They look very good in my opinion. And sometimes I get with like prices, like some people they think it's like things should be on a higher standard sometimes. But for me, if it just looks good to my eye, I'm not really as nitpicky or criticize. You know what I mean? I'm not going to like. If it looks good to me, I'm not going to criticize it too much. And I don't think the figures are bad at all. I personally, from every photo or review I've seen, they're some of the best I've seen. And I'm genuinely saying that because, and it's just. I just feel the one thing I'll say is I feel like there's too much criticism in every part of the Lego space, or too much nitpicking. That's kind of unwarranted, in my opinion. But if
No,
you
I
a
get that.
little,
No, it's one of those things where like, if this is not something that's actively harming others, well, okay, not all things. I know some things, but we're not getting into a more moral and philosophical argument here. We're just talking about someone like a design or a piece of content, right? And
yeah,
as
yeah,
long as it's not spewing like the absolute worst things, the worst morality known to mankind, and in this case, Lego Customs aren't doing that. And if someone says like, "Oh yeah, I like that design," then cool. Like I might disagree and I think I don't like that design, but I'm not going to try to diminish your enjoyment
yeah.
of that item or of that value.
Hey, yeah, I get that, but it's but but it's good to see that you have a plan. You want the best for the customers. You want to make this worth their time and their money, because they're taking the time to buy from you and get things from you. So I'm glad you're committed to the customer, because as we've seen from other industries, people that don't listen to the customer, they don't do too well. That's what we'll say.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
exactly. And I mean, that's why the Discord, I frequently chat in my Discord. I don't try to Hollywood people. I'm like, yeah, I'm here. If you want to ping me, that's cool. Like, I don't mind. Like, I'll answer your
Yeah.
question. I'll answer your question. The support email, I always monitor that. I'll get to you probably within the same day or the next business day, unless like something really busy has happened in my life.
Yeah.
And I mean, I also like the whole like to the customers thing. Like, I know the economy is not great right now. Well, I know prices are a little expensive and people's wallets are a little thinner than we would like it to be.
Oh,
But
yep.
so that's why I try to deliver at least a good value and try to bring add as many things as I can. Like with that Andor figure, it's $32, which from what I've researched, other people. Maybe if this was a product from a very notable brand that really rose quickly in the past year with multiple waves, if they were releasing the same figure, I'd probably see this figure charged at 40. But and in addition to that, we're charging a cheaper price anyways at 32. But then on top of that, you're also including a blaster with your purchase. We're also including a playing card. And our goal is to actually hopefully make 52 Lego Star Wars figures so that you can create a full deck with all of that and actually play with our cards, which would be really fun. We're also including
That's cool.
an embossed playing card. Sorry, an embossed collectible card to show like, yeah, this is whatever out of 100. And then on top of that, also the collectible business card, the warranty, the return policy. Like we're trying to give as much as I can feasibly provide while still maintaining a healthy enough margin to grow the business. I am trying to give as much as I can.
No, for Andor, that's good. That's a good price. Like that's reasonable for a figure that had a lot of time and care put into it. And like right here, let me just look. I mean, look at that. You get all those accessories too with it.
No,
Credits.
sorry, those are actually standalone items per se. They
Yeah.
aren't included with Andor. Sorry for the confusion there.
Well, yeah, but even then, like the stuff you're planning is like really cool. And well, even if they're real accessories, that stuff is still like uh, stuff that people have asked for.
Yeah, no, I mean we're coming up with pretty good prices. I've seen what the market's competing at. I mean, we're releasing our Imperial credits at $1 each.
Oh wow,
And
that's great.
so, for context, there is another brand who just released UV printed Old Republic credits based off of the ones from Skeleton Crew, and they are charging $2.38 US dollars. And I'm like, what? I'm charging $1 for pad print. Do I need to jack up my price to $3? I'm not jacking up my price, but you get what I'm getting at with the whole value proposition.
Yeah, I hear UV printing. I think of a brand in particular, but I won't name. But yeah, I under. Wow, that just goes to show right there the difference. Like you're like, oh yeah, they're $1, and other companies are like, oh, like the same type of piece is almost $3. It's like wow. That's a
Yeah.
little.
And then the we also the Imperial data pads are actually 5 colors, which is
Yeah.
more than the average. For context, the clone troopers, that one brand peddles a lot, which I'm not blaming them for the colors like that. Is that's how Lego's color paddle was, but for the regular white grunts, there's only 3 colors, and if it's a colored figure, it's 4 colors on the torso. And our data pad, our small data pad, is 5 colors.
Yeah. But it's but just I know that like ones that have a lot of detail are a lot more on the other brands, and I know how much some people charge, and it's just like it. Don't get me wrong with one thing though. I do like that you're doing pad printing because sometimes I haven't like got any customs and stuff really, but with the UV printing, just some of the stuff that is UV printed just looks a little off sometimes. The pad printing to me, what you've done looks better, but that's my opinion.
I appreciate that. I mean, I invested a lot of time. I want to say at least 20 hours with communicating with suppliers across the world, trying to figure out who can deliver like quality pad printing at a reasonable price. And we, after 20 hours of research, we found it. And I mean, I was truthfully shocked when I got these in hand because I like some pad brands have a little bit of raised print to them, and so it kind of gives like a little bit of a weird, like kind of like UV print ish feel, even though it's not. While ours is like completely smooth. Like I honest to God think that if I decided, which I'm not going to do, to rip a Lego design and print that onto a torso and then get the official Lego version and put them next to each other, you would not be able to tell which one is the Lego print and which one's our print.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like I said with Andor, I couldn't tell if it was an actual leak or not. I couldn't tell. It looked real. It looked legit. Like actual Lego made it. That's how. Because I saw when you were putting what pictures of Andor were, that you put on Insta,
I
and
appreciate that.
no, it looks like the actual Lego figure, like the face especially. But yeah,
So the face is a little actually interesting of how we decided to approach it. So we actually took the base from the Rogue One Andor as our base inspiration, but then we actually updated the eyebrows to be far more in line with the Andor we got from the Lego Andor we got from the TV show.
yeah.
So it's like those small things. I am paying attention.
But no, but man, I think we because we've went over what you're planning to do, how you met Cosmic and got affiliated with Rancor, how you started the waves you're planning to have. I think we've mainly talked about a lot of what we would want to talk about with you, but is there any other things you would want to say before we go, or do you think we've basically covered everything?
Oh, the last thing I would like to cover is Rice Customs also does offer pad printing, injection molding, and 3D printing commissions. So if you ever wanted to
Ooh.
bring a figure to life, I can design it. Obviously, there'd be a charge, and then we can print it, and obviously another charge. But if you have a design yourself already and you want to bring that to life, I'll work with you throughout the process to bring that to life. You can see there's another brand, really small one, but I think they're gonna grow in popularity very quickly. They're called Printer Toner Customs, and
Mm-hmm.
they were going to release a Bail Organa from Revenge of the Sith and a Mon Mothma from Andor, and we were their printing partner for that. And I am very excited to see those figures officially for sale. And you can speak with him on what it was like to work with us, and I think you'll only hear good things about it.
Well, that's good. But what that's already right there. Just so much. There's just a lot of goodwill with everything you've said. Like, we'll help you make your figure if you want it, and we'll help you do what you need for this, and also we want to make sure we have the best figures and make sure you know, and if there's anything we need to fix, we'll fix it. Like you are fully committed. I can tell that you're very excited because of all the stuff you all are planning, which is very good to know. But I wish you all. I know you and your team. I know it's a team. I wish you all major success with this. I think from what you've said here that you will do very good. I don't doubt it. But it was great having you on Race Customs or John. It was great to have you here and talk with you about it. And I honestly hope that you all get the success you are looking for, even more. But,
I greatly appreciate that. Truly, it's an absolute pleasure to speak with you and to work with the folk over at Rancor Lug. If you guys ever have any questions, feel free to drop into our Discord. I'll answer it. Email us at support@Rice Customs. Happy to answer it. Message our marketing guy on Instagram. He'll answer it. We're very open on transparency. Always happy to hear new ideas, and just it's a pleasure. I mean, here's the last thing I'll end on. This is the last thing I'll end on, and then
yeah.
I'm sure you better things to be doing in your evening than talking to me. But so actually, with Wave One, this is the big thing that kind of that me and our team, me and the team anchor on whenever we're thinking about why it is we're here. There was a order we got where a father was buying the triple pack for his son's birthday, and I was like, okay, that's great. Like, I can't believe someone already wanted to view this. But I thought about it, and I'm like, what could I do to really make that kid's day special? And so I went ahead and actually wrote up a few different letters from the perspectives of various of the three various characters and try to like stylize their signatures, just because I wanted that kid to really like when he see that like, oh wow, like Director Krennic wrote me a letter, or Grand Admiral Pelion wrote me a letter. Because I know if I was like 6 years old and I got that, I'd be like ecstatic. And so that's where I truly believe it is. No regrets, just the best. But then also, while we're not providing a service or a good that's going to make, that's going to improve, how do I word this? We're not going to be the reason why you were able to live, but we're going to provide some joy to your life so that you have is a fun thing. And so that's where I think it is. And that's what I really love seeing with this whole project.
No, that you did that is amazing. And it reminds me of another story I've heard of another. He's a bigger name now. Scott Coffin, creator of FNAF. He got in a thing. A kid wanted him to, sign stuff or, wanted him to see it. And I got a box of stuff. And you know what I mean? But the kid wanted to put a letter in and wanted like, hey, I love Foxy. Can you give me something Foxy? And Scott wrote the letter as Foxy and put a tear in the paper, like the hook ripped through it. It was so like that to me is always just like, but people as you or Scott Coffin like go back the extra mile to make a kid's day brighter or just hope for that. It's such a good thing. And I really like stories like that. And that right there just shows me keep going, you got this. And I just don't let it other thing I would say, just don't let things get to your head. That's what I'd say.
I figured that out. Final plug real quick. February 1st, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 6 p.m. Central European Time, if I'm not mistaken. Europeans, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'll fully acknowledge where I'm wrong on this, but that will be the release of Wave 2 Part 2. Andor will be $32. We ship internationally as well. Our shipping is a little more expensive than I think some of our contemporaries, but we do make sure that like we use UPS Worldwide Expedited, so it can get to you in like 5 to 7 days, which is way quicker than the USPS will ever do. And I know a lot of our competitors use USPS, but Andor will be $32. We'll actually be reserving 10 for a European reseller at a later date. But Andor will be $32, $31.99. The torsos will be $5.99. Credits are $1. and the data pads are $199. And we'll also be retroactively decreasing the price of the first of the Imperial Authority triple pack. So the triple pack will be $64.99 instead of $69.99. And all of the other figures will be reduced in price by $3 each. So Director Krennic will be $26.99, Pelion will be $24.99, and Yularen will be $23.99, I believe.
Wow. But I'm now, after talking with you, I'm very excited to see the next customs you all do. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. And honestly, by the time this podcast comes out, East Customs will probably have a ton of new products. So go check out East Customs. We post, of course, we post this on Building and Chatting Podcast, mine, and also on, of course, Rancor, where we're doing a little collab here type thing. I helped them with this, but yeah, we will have your, of course, we will have your link in the description. But thank you, man, for coming on. Great to talk to you. Great to hear your stories, your things. And also, I love to hear about the design, like the designing process and how you all do that with the figures. It was really cool to hear. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I know we will talk to you again sometime, either on mine or Rancor's. You're welcome anytime.
It's a pleasure, and whenever you guys want to chat, I'm more than happy to chat. I'll find time.
Sounds good, man. You have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.